What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast, episode 200. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and I'm joined by the podcast dad, a man that thought that we wouldn't make it past 5 episodes. Tyler, tell the world how you were feeling on this day of episode 200.
Well, Vince, I'll tell you how I feel. It's pretty good.
Vincent.
It's no, you're Vince, pal. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good. Didn't think we would get here, but hey, here we are. Happy to be back with you. I haven't seen you in a while, but podcast dad needed a little bit of vacation, and he's back. And what better way to come back for the 200th episode?
You've had a vacation, but before we get started, we're going to have a little celebration, sir. I feel like we have earned the right to have a little bubbly here. Yep. Mine is just better than yours.
Well, one of us has to get up at 3 a.m. tomorrow, but hey, cheers to you, sir.
I could just to say that I do it, but I just choose not to.
Oh, what are you drinking out of? Would that be this lovely mug?
Glad that you asked. It is a Wrestling Junkies Podcast mug. Be a lamb. Go over to our merch store. We have mugs. We've got t-shirts. We've got beanies. Tank tops, not hats. I promise. They're on the way.
Hey, I will say, the podcast mom ordered a tank top, and it looks fantastic.
It's great. It's
So,
great. Thanks for the support, Heather.
Shout out to our merch. It looks really, really good. So why don't you go buy some? Why not? Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Looks fantastic.
Right? Also, shout out to our friends at the Main Event Network. Follow us at mainevent_net for all things main event. We've got podcasts. We've got fan art. We've got blogs. All kinds of great content made by awesome people. Man, we're grinding here. Everybody's cooking right now. Don't you love it?
It's what we like to call main event moves. Join the movement or get left in the dust, folks.
Facts. But before we get into today's 200th episode, as always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. And Chris, what's that magic number? It seems to escape me. I know we've been talking a whole lot of 200, but what's the magic number here today?
Well, pretty soon it will be 200. But right now, tell one person that you like this. Tell one person you're having fun with us, and maybe that person can tell one other person, and then it's just a ripple effect. Let's just have some fun with this. But just tell one person. Come on.
Yeah.
What's the harm?
None whatsoever. But before we introduce our guests, again, this weekend at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, the Mecca. Do not forget ET Wrestling Summer Madness. Hell of a main event. Marcus Mathers taking on Titus Alexander for the keys to the East Championship. We've got Matt Mikowski in action. We've got Mike Santana, Janai Kai, Rachel Armstrong, Rico Gonzalez. Just a who's who of all-star talent showing up in this building. It is the preeminent destination for independent wrestling, and its hallowed halls are just something that you have to behold. And then also coming up next month, Battle for Sale Creek. SCI presents this event. All proceeds go to benefit Sale Creek Middle School. Lots of great matches that are on the way. We do have the Sensei Aaron Wade taking on Mad Dog Connolly in a dog collar match. Thoughts and prayers, my friend.
Yeah. Oops on you, buddy. It's exciting times, but I think you forgot one of those. What do the Junkies have going on next weekend?
Oh, I am glad that you said that. I believe we're going to be at the Slam of the Summer. Is that correct?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Second year in a row, Junkies going to SummerSlam. How exciting is that?
Yeah, this time Cleveland. We don't even have to leave the state.
Oh, that's so nice.
It really is. It really
as much as I love being in a car with you for 12 hours, it's going to be nice.
We've never been in a car for 12 hours together. We've come damn close, but it's never been 12 hours.
I've spent at least 12 hours in a car with you.
Okay, well, you got to be, specific, whether it's total or consecutive. Words, pal, they mean things.
No, not really. They're all just made up.
I mean, that's something your kids might think right now, but,
They do. It's a lot of babbling. Kind of like you. You're like my third child. You walked into that one. Come on. That's on you. That's on you.
Whatever.
That's on you, my friend.
So before we get into talking to our guests tonight, I feel like it's been a while since we've really talked some wrestling, and we had the chance to do that earlier tonight. Coastal Countdown, we recorded the premiere episode, which will be hitting YouTube in the very near future. It will be the inaugural pre-show for Coastal Empire Wrestling, newest partnership between ourselves and Coastal Empire Wrestling. So you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of new exclusive content by the Wrestling Junkies. We are so thrilled to work with these gentlemen and have some fun. But
that's what we do.
In the larger scheme of things in the world of professional wrestling, it has been a while since we have talked any AEW, WWE. We know the Blood and Guts is going on right now. Give me kind of just 2 or 3 big things that have caught your eye since the last time that we actually had the chance to sit down, talk some graphs.
Dominic Mysterio is going to turn on Rhea Ripley and break her heart. That's one. Yeah. Hello. Oh, what else? Jacob Fatu's a star. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep saying it. I'm interested to see what happens at SummerSlam between Cody and Solo, but I think they have it in Jacob Fatu. And I didn't see Joe Hendry on NXT, and it made me sad.
But he will be there next week. He is going to be doing a concert in the middle of the ring, and the world cannot stop talking. I believe, exciting. You believe, we all believe in Joe Hendry.
I think TNA might have made a mistake not putting the world title on him.
Continue.
He has all this momentum. He's the talk of the wrestling world. Why not put the world title on him? Doesn't really. I mean, he's the hottest thing in wrestling. Like, why wouldn't you want that to be attached to your world champion?
I mean, I can see it, but we also, we don't really think a whole lot about what their current creative plans are and kind of what the things that they have in mind and kind of how they want to navigate this partnership. I'm not taking anything away from what Joe Hendry is doing right now, but I think there's a larger plan in place here, and I think that has more to do with the NXT Championship more so than it does the TNA.
I mean, he said in an interview he's got some time on the contract, so I guess we'll find out there. I still don't think we live in a world where a non-WWE NXT wrestler will be holding a championship for that company.
I just don't think that we can rule, especially with a guy like Joe Hendry, I don't think that we can rule it out here. Because if we're looking at Jordan Grace, we're looking at Joe Hendry, and the fact that these runs are essentially job interviews for what they're going to be able to do in NXT or in WWE as a whole, they may be worth taking that risk on.
I think we'd see a little bit more Jordan Grace because that contract's coming up here soon. Maybe they do that, but we don't know when Hendry's contract is up. He said he's got some time, so I don't know. Yeah, it's still hard for me to see. That's it.
I mean, I get that. I mean, never say never. That's just kind of where I'm at with it right now. And we're also hearing that Australian standout Delta has reportedly signed with the company. So we've got this trio of Delta, Stephanie Vaquer, and Julia coming in to basically tear through that women's division.
Well, don't tell Roxanne Perez that.
I mean, as much as I love the Prodigy, I don't know.
Come on. Roxanne's that placeholder right now. She has it. She has it. And we're gonna find out.
Placeholder.
She's there for now until we're moving her up to the main roster to dominate. Come on now. We're waiting on somebody good to come in and take that title off of her because nobody has even been close yet.
No, not yet. But we are seeing them make strides to build the mid-card division, which pretty damn cool if you ask me.
Did you see MJF's new belt?
I did see MJF's new belt.
It is ugly.
Yeah.
I think that's the point.
That's nicer than what I was gonna say. So we'll leave it at it is an ugly belt. But Will Ospreay has thrown down the gauntlet for All In at Wembley. We'll see if MJF accepts. But
sorry, Daniel.
That would have been a fun one, but
you were just kind of a pawn in this whole thing.
It was a swerve, bro.
No, he's the world champion.
I see what you did there.
Got him.
I wouldn't say got him, but
you missed me.
Did I?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we're kind of stuck together. I'd have to audition new co-hosts. It becomes a whole thing.
You don't want to do that. Come on.
Not really.
Who's going to come with the energy of the podcast, Dad? Nobody.
I don't know. The king might have something to say about that. You
shut your damn mouth.
So there is somebody that could. Okay.
He's a fantastic guest.
So I do have to ask you this, just because the pictures are circulating around the internet of a certain Cincinnati quarterback's hairstyle.
Oh Jesus! I'm not talking about this. No.
Come on, man.
Nope, what? I'm not. I'm not talking about this. The whole finish the story. Shut up.
He's getting ready to finish the story. That's what's happening here.
Shut up. I'm not.
Don't go up prices do.
I'm not talking about Slim Shady. I'm not talking about Doug McQuaid from 21 Jump Street. No, not talking about it.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Joey Rhodes.
It's going to suck when they lose to Roman Reigns and the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Let's get to, what is it, October 27th?
Me? Why are you talking about me? Go talk to your quarterback.
No, Bengals, Eagles. That's what I believe.
That's what I'm saying.
What it is.
That's what I'm saying. How many times has Joe Burrow seen Week 8? Happy 200, buddy.
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna let you have this one. I'm gonna let you have this because it is a special occasion. It is a special day. And I guess I have to share it with you. So.
Yes, you do. You have to share it with me. That's the rules. Who would you share it with?
Well, I mean, I can think of a couple of people in the green room here that might have something to say.
I would also like that.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go ahead and surprise bring them on a little bit early here. We're gonna do things a little bit live. But, as everybody has heard, Wrestling Junkies Podcast has partnered with Coastal Empire Wrestling in Savannah, Georgia. This is an exclusive partnership that is leading to the creation of not one, but two official pre-shows and post-show. Coastal Countdown after the Empire. I'm trying to read Podcast Dad's chat note here, and it got me all discombobulated. But either way, nonetheless, you've seen them on the show before.
Break the fourth wall.
I am going to. It's episode 200. I will do whatever the hell I want. Okay.
Oh man, come on, bring them in. Come on, let's bring them in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bryce Cannon and Zach Mosley to the show. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Congratulations on 200 episodes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Certainly, we have you guys to thank for a lot of where we have come to at this point. Bryce was one of our first interviews. Come on. Both of you guys have played integral roles in why we're here right now. I mean, between interviews, Riot on Row, it's been a hell of a ride.
The pleasure's all yours.
Was Bryce the first guest?
I think so. Yeah, as far as wrestlers that we brought on, yeah, very first one. Very first one, and he's not tired of us yet.
I've yet to receive my plaque or ribbon or anything.
You got to be on 5 times for that one.
So I will be happy with that.
He's getting close to 5 times though.
He is, but I'm not going to count the one guest appearance where I was working late because I was insulted.
You know what?
But I still came on the show. I still came on the show because that's how committed I am to the show.
Well, gentlemen, before we get into all things Coastal Empire Wrestling, Bryce, I believe that you at least were going to celebrate with me. It is National Tequila Day, so I have poured myself just a little bit of Casamigos to celebrate. I know the podcast dad is drinking his Diet Sprite. Zach's got a seltzer in his hand. Okay, same thing. All right. That's fine. But cheers, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. Happy 200.
Casamigos, you feeling okay?
Feeling great.
Where's the Terramana?
I just went with what I had currently in the house now.
That's why I'm worried.
Man, stocked up.
I wouldn't say stocked up. It's I'm out of Terramana temporarily. Not really. That bottle of Trace Agaves is empty. That tequila Coral I forget how you pronounce it, but it's not great. And then I'm not ever opening the Undertaker wine, so
I wouldn't either.
But
There's a lot of tequila down at the bars in Savannah that y'all should come check out when you come see a show.
that is
I've ever heard
Yeah.
of. What do you say?
heard of what?
Some of the best tequila I've ever heard of.
Okay.
I do like tequila. I'm in.
Well, gentlemen, let's just get right on into it here. Coastal Empire Wrestling, Wrestling Junkies, brand new partnership. Bryce, Zach, just kind of take us behind the curtain and the thought process here. Why the Wrestling Junkies?
Yeah, tell us how great we are.
We asked ourselves the same thing, honestly.
Bryce, I can barely hear you, bro.
Yeah, you might want to fix that mic cord in your mic there, but I think you're coming in a little low.
Man, he wants a plaque.
I'll get him a damn plaque. Like I'll
Well,
get him a plaque.
his mic, I'll go ahead and put you guys over. Since you guys brought me on several years ago, I've seen you guys growing. I've seen y'all getting the word out there, partnering with some other organizations, and I like what you guys have been doing. Not that I really get to choose. You know, Simon Sermon and Chip Schuyler, they kind of do what they want to, so we're here. But we love you guys nonetheless.
Now that brings a
Bryce.
tear to my eye.
Bryce, you all right? You got it?
I don't know.
He's even quieter now.
Yeah, no, we'll give him a second to get situated over there, but
Just the other day, he was bragging about this microphone, talking about how where does this come from? I can't say nothing though. Usually, I'm the one who has the problem with technology.
No, you were early today. That's,
Yeah,
that's
like
a bit of
yeah.
it's a bit of a shocker. Every time we've had you on, you've been late.
I'm kind of notorious for that. You know?
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, and again, we do appreciate 2 members of Exotic Youth being on the show. Still
Yeah.
waiting
Not now.
for.
Well, at least you get
Got
to
a
look
little-
at Bryce, right?
Got a little scratchier there. Yeah, no, that's somehow worse.
This man's underwater.
It's our 200th episode.
But would you have it any other way that it is that this is it?
I don't think it's allowed to be any other way.
It really isn't. I mean, and that's the thing. And we'll
See,
give
now he left. Now he left.
All the way.
we'll give him a second here. I just figured we'll let him get situated. But Zach, first show as part of this new partnership. Fire Hazard coming up this weekend. We've recorded Coastal Countdown already. You've yet to see it. Can't wait for you to check it out. But take our audience through what we can see and what we can expect on this card this weekend.
Man, honestly, this has got to be one of our most packed cards yet. I mean, every single show, not only our production value, the in-ring, but also the stories. Like, we try to take things a lot deeper at Coastal than I've seen most places. We're pretty particular, very hands-on. Everybody's really invested in what's going on, who's there on the roster, and it's been absolutely amazing lately. I mean, I can't even fathom like how far we've come over the past year from seeing where we were like this time last year to now. It's like a totally different company. I mean, we really found ourselves and kind of carved out our niche. But this Saturday, you're going to see, I think almost all the matches, if not every single one, are going to be first-time ever matchups. You're going to see Damian Tangra debut at Coastal Empire Wrestling against Hunter James. You're going to see CT Keys, the Southern Fried champion, taking on Randall Reno III, that little rat bastard. He's got that crooked con man of a pastor coming back and joining him.
I told you it was like Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. He and what is his name? Baby Billy. I think him and Baby Billy probably went to school together or something. Bible school.
So, one match we got to talk about just because he's tripped a little bit on social media here. Hakeem Young taking on Rob Killjoy. We saw what happened last month. Attack after what was an incredible Coastal Chaos title match.
Hold on. Why are we shaking our head?
Because Hakeem is one of those guys that, like, I'm just going to be frank, nobody liked the guy. They all thought he was kind of a asshole. But Bryce and I decided we were going to give the kid a chance. I mean, he earned our respect in his first match that he had with Peps a few months back. I seen the passion that he had when he pretty much flipped on people for what a lot of people thought was no reason, but I understood it. I mean, it didn't justify what he did. You know, if you guys aren't aware, it was the Georgia Wrestling History Awards. He had been very vocal about the fact that he thought he should be the Rookie of the Year last year. When he didn't win that award, alcohol might have played a part in this. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. But he kind of just acted really unprofessional. He got up in the face of the guy who won the award and rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And he really could have blackballed himself, especially here in the Georgia scene. But Bryce and I decided we'd take him under our wing and give him another chance because he showed that he had learned from it, or at least we thought. But I guess he's at least a good actor, you know. He sure as hell fooled everybody at the last show.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's definitely surprised the hell out of a lot of people here. You know, and little preview of tomorrow's show. We are going to have Hakeem Young on. He is going to attempt to sit down with us, talk about what happened, and Rob Killjoy may or may not be joining us. So we'll see what they have to say ahead of the match this weekend.
He called his shot, and he went for it. How am I going to be mad at that? He saw an opportunity. He's going for the opportunity. How can I be mad at that?
He could blow everything. I mean, this guy, we were literally the only people speaking his praises. We were the only ones who were backing him up. I personally thought he was super respectful and professional. In my experience, that's all I had experienced up until that moment. But to see the look on the people's faces when he attacked Fro and Rob, man, he really stabbed a dagger through a lot of the fans' hearts that night.
Yeah, well,
made an impact.
Rob kicks his ass.
Okay, well,
I'm on the other side.
All right, well, Hakeem Young is going to explain his actions here this weekend. We'll see how this match plays out. We're gonna see if we can bring Bryce back in temporarily. Can you hear and see us now?
Can you hear me?
Oh no! You're being intimidated.
It's still a little low, but it's better than it was.
Just holler, bro.
No, I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah, we're better now.
Do I need to be like this?
No, that's worse.
You need to get like a voice.
That's not great.
No, you kind of sound like Kane when he had the voice box.
Man, it's wrestling. It seems like the sound stuff under control.
I'm telling you, I don't understand technology.
So here. Another match we want to talk about here. So we have got Exotic Youth taking on Probable Cause for the Tag Team Championships. Now, Bryce, you're still on the sidelines. We know that you're rehabbing the knee and still trying to work your way through that right now. Podcast Dad has had a bold prediction, thinks that you might not be able to resist.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
What? It's a live show. Nothing. You know what?
Tune into the preview show to see what I think. Tune into the preview show to see what I think.
Okay.
My only thing is,
here's that contract biting me in the ass again.
I haven't signed anything for you. I think you're gonna have a hard time staying impartial. That's just me. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I do my best to, maintain my place, and I know my role as of right now while I am on the sidelines. Luckily for me, I have a need that won't allow me to move as quickly or do whatever I would like to do. So, unfortunately, I've got restraints. If there were no restraints, then absolutely, I would. I'd be all over them. I mean, just watching the tag match with Simon and Chip versus Zach and Peps, it was hard for me to remain calm then, especially with Simon grabbing my crutch and, all in my face and everything like that. But, I do my best to remain professional.
Now, Dax, and before we get back into what we saw last month, I kind of gasped here for a second because former NWA Women's World Champion Camille has finally made her debut on Dynamite, and it looks like she is the heater for the CEO, Mercedes Moné. That's all I wanted to say. But last month, Dax Anthony took on Peps, and you were at the broadcast table for that. That was very tough for you to get through because that was a tough one to watch. It was, worked him over pretty good, but we know Peps is tough. Peps is a survivor. He won't come on our show, but we at least know
Allegedly.
that
we wouldn't. If we had him on, we would know more. But that's okay.
Hey, he's hard to get in touch with, man.
I know. Phil's back in the E, and he's big time now, so we get it.
Yeah, he's probably hanging out with Phil
and Larry. Word's not out, but we think that he's Larry's babysitter. We're not sure, but
that would make sense.
Got him a deal for some Larry merch on WWE Shop, so
which you can get through our affiliate.
Yeah, let me put that QR code up right now. If you do need some WWE merch, everything we earn gets reinvested right back into the wrestling business. You see this partnership that we have reached with Coastal Empire Wrestling. For our audience that may not have ever seen a CEW show before, take them through the environment. What do you think makes them stand out compared to other promotions in that area?
I mean, our fans are hungry for it. I mean, they're rabid. From what I've heard, like CEW is the longest standing promotion in Savannah, maybe ever. It's just kind of isolated from the rest of the state, so there's not really been a whole lot of reputable wrestling schools in the area or anything like that. There's not been like a whole lot of wrestlers from Savannah, really. So there's not really been a company that's been consistent and like stuck around and grown as much as we have over the past few years. And the fans, I mean, they've been wanting a product like this. They've been absolutely starving for good wrestling in Savannah, and we're just glad that we're able to bring that to them. But our fans are absolutely insane. I mean, you'll hear them chanting some of the wildest chants I've ever heard. Bryce, you can't repeat them. He's over there on commentary, like trying to hold back from like acknowledging what they're saying. It's pretty wild.
And we've got a wide variety of people in the audience.
That's true too.
Anywhere from elderly people to young children. We've got people who are what we call the smart marks to the people who, just want to be entertained. We've got the story-driven people. We've got the spot fest people. Our fans come prepared, and our fans are invested in our product as well. We've had shows where, for instance, when Peps and I think it was when Peps and I lost the tag titles, Kenway had pile-driven me on the boards of the ring. Fans didn't want to leave because they were so invested in what was going on. They wanted to stay to make sure that we were okay. They wanted to, they just wanted to be a part of the environment, which sometimes it plays to our benefit and sometimes it doesn't, because it's like, okay, we're ready to get out of the building, but the fans are wanting to stay. The fans are wanting to stay back. And here at the VFW that we run at now, they've got an open bar and food. So now the fans are staying longer, chit-chatting with wrestlers afterwards. And it's an environment, and the fans feel like family, and they feel like a part of the show. So it's pretty cool.
That's a very good point, too. It's like we really want to solidify ourselves as a staple in Savannah. And I think so far we've been doing a damn good job of that. But like Bryce said, like we've had like little kids, like as small as like 5 years old, come up after I had my death match with Chip Schuyler, and I'm like dripping blood and sweat all over this poster. They're trying to get me to sign, and I'm like looking at the parents. I'm like, I can't believe these children are so hyped about all this blood and like, all this. I just did not expect that. We even did a disclaimer before the match, like if you're squeamish, if you're a kid, if you're worried about getting hit with something, feel free to leave now. And nobody left, and the kids were as hyped for that match as anything else.
And I've seen some things already at the VFW that we're running at that I'm just like, what the, like, wow, like these fans are into it. Like there was probably like this 6 or 7 year old little girl shooting the bird to Randall Reno, like, and we've got a picture of it. We haven't posted it or anything like that, but it's just like, man, like they're into it, which is good. So
he's easily hateable.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
It's that jumpsuit.
took me out. So
That's part of it. I don't know if that's all of it. There's a lot of reason to hate that little bastard. In my opinion. But.
So from a fan perspective, which match are you guys looking forward to the most? And you cannot say the tag titles. Come on.
Dude, honestly, I think that dark horse match right now is Chad Skywalker and Stunt Marshall. I think that match is really going to blow people away. I don't think enough people have been talking about that one. I think it's getting overlooked, but I think that people are going to be definitely impressed by what they see in that match. Two guys who are just hell of a both of them are hell of a talent and really good at entertaining the people.
Yeah, and I mean we're biased and everything. I mean I've got a handful of matches I'm really looking forward to for different reasons. As a fan looking in, I'm real excited for Hakeem versus Killjoy just because of the story there. What's Hakeem going to do? Like we've seen Hakeem in a dark place before, but now he's taking action with it. So it's kind of like, what's he going to do this show? Then you've got Hunter James and Damian Tangra. This one I'm excited for the fans to see just because they're getting behind Hunter James now. At first they were, do we like this cocky guy? Do we not? And now they're starting to get really behind Hunter because they're appreciating his athleticism. And now we're bringing in Damian Tangra, who's got just a different repertoire of moves that they've seen from the rest of the roster. He just moves differently. He's got a different moveset, so I'm super excited for that one too.
I like it.
There's not a match on the card that I think isn't going to be special. I mean, I think every single match is going to offer something different, and that's really what we've done a great job with. I think at CW, it's like every match is going to be different. Every match is going to have a purpose. There's nobody who's on the card who's not like right there in the mix of it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll say like we're a little different than most Southern wrestling promotions because I look at the card and it's almost like we don't really have one of those gimmicky like silly matches. Everything that we're producing and everything that we're putting out is story based and has, like Zach said, has a purpose versus here's a throwaway match just to get a laugh out of the crowd or something like that. Like all of our guys at Coastal have a purpose, have a place, and we're really lucky because everybody that we use at Coastal is willing to, know their place, and they don't like our locker room is one of the best locker rooms we've been in. So
no doubt, it's like a family. I mean, everybody definitely plays their part, and everybody wants to see the company succeed. Everybody's behind the vision. I think that's really the key to our success right now.
And I mean,
I like it.
$20 for the front row ticket. That's pretty hard to beat. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, especially for the value they're getting. Like, and that's something that I've constantly seen on the reviews from our fans. Every time someone's going on there, they're like, "This is just the same quality that you would get at WWE," that kind of thing. I'm not saying that we're all ready to go main event WrestleMania, but you never know who on the card might one day. You never know, and I think we've had and will have a lot of the future stars of wrestling at Coastal Empire Wrestling before you see them on the bigger stage. So,
well, and that's another thing is because luckily for them, Raw and Dynamite have both come to Savannah, literally 10 minutes from where we run, and luckily, we've been a part of the shows that have happened there, and so
we've seen you getting thrown around by Hook.
Okay. Anywho, we're not talking about that.
It might look like us at one nose though.
Back to the people. Back to the people.
You got lucky.
But we're not talking about our security. We're still working at that at Coastal. We're trying to figure out security details. But no, it's just cool for those fans that come to Coastal, able to see guys that they see at the independent level at Dynamite, being a part of Raw, even if it's about just being security and things like that. Like we had a bunch of people like yelling our names. And
the drunkest guy in the whole building was wearing a CW shirt at AEW.
That is true.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, one of the things that we've experienced, especially was that last weekend, I guess, over down at SCI was just the culture of the independent wrestling scene in the South, and just how it seems like it's competitive as hell, right? But it's not as cutthroat, I thought, as it would be. And I know, Zach, you touched on it a little bit about the locker room. Can you talk a little bit more of how, like, you bring guys in and kind of what you want to see from those guys coming in?
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone that we pick, like, we select for like a very particular reason. The main thing that we look for is people who want to do this for a living, who want to be full time with this, who want to do this, as their career. That doesn't mean they have to necessarily be ready to go get a contract tomorrow, but we want people who have that aspiration, or we want veterans who can help them build the skills they'll need to get there. We want to give guys the opportunities to do the types of things they'll be expected to do in the majors, like the storytelling and the pre-tapes and the skits and the other ways that you can go about storytelling other than just the in-ring. But we also are very big on, like, the guys who can incorporate the story into their matches and really make it make everything that they do go to further that story. I think that's what we really offer that I'm not seeing everywhere else. So we really look for guys who have a good character, guys who are like, we can picture in multiple scenarios, who we can picture doing a lot of different kinds of things.
Yeah, we also look for, like, younger guys too. Like, we really enjoy helping the younger talent.
No doubt.
And like Zach said, yeah, we look for guys who, this is their passion, this is what they want to do for a living. But, like, sometimes with the younger guys, it's kind of hard to tell when you're like a year in. You're still trying to find your way and things like that. So, we've got a few guys coming in that are younger, that are still figuring themselves out when it comes to wrestling and things like that. So it's fun to kind of help, not mold them necessarily, but show them, like, hey, like, you could do this way and get 4 shows worth of stuff versus giving it all in this one show, because we're bringing you back. I mean, if we're not, then absolutely put your life on the line if you want. But I mean, we preach being safe and preach, don't kill yourselves. But yeah, it's the locker room is just it's fun to go to. Like, I look forward to Coastal, and it's always been that way, even whenever we were just a part of the roster. It was super fun to go to Coastal because, I mean, we a lot of the guys would go to the karaoke bar. A lot of the guys would like after the show and things like that.
Yeah,
it was just a camaraderie thing. And you build a brotherhood like that, and what that does is it helps you trust more in the locker room too. So the matches are going to be better because I trust this guy more than I'm going to trust some dude in North Georgia that I've only met 3 times. Where I'm hanging out with this guy, sure, I'll take a pile driver on the board. Sure, I'll take a pile driver on the concrete. Like things like that Coastal offers that we don't get most places.
Yeah. Sounds like we got to find you a counter to the pile driver, though.
Yeah, for sure.
We're working. Right now, it's the chop block I got to work.
This really stands out to me. The main thing is that, like, at Coastal, when you show up, it's not just like you show up, you go get in the ring, and then you go home. It's like we personally work with these younger guys who are coming up, who we see potential in, who we see that are hungry, and we give them the tools to succeed if they want them. Everybody, and what makes our locker room so special, I think, is everybody has that growth mindset. Nobody is okay with just being decent. Nobody is okay with being as good as they'll ever be right now. Everybody's completely cool and good at taking feedback and criticism and applying it to their craft and getting better. And that's why our shows have gotten so much better. I mean, the guys have been so committed, and they'll trust us, and they'll go out there and do things that they're really skeptical about. Like, is that going to work? Is this going to work? Mm-hmm. Like, if you work it, like, are they going to buy it? If you sell it, you know what I mean? And to see a guy out there in the ring and, like, see it click for them, and to see them, like, get that feeling of, like, where they really feel the crowd, where they really get the ability to control that journey that the fans go on. while they're sitting there watching your match. I mean, it's awesome because, not everybody gets a good mentorship like that. And I'm not saying we know everything. We absolutely don't know everything. We're still learning ourselves. We're students of the game. But I like to think that Bryce and I, what makes us really good at this is our thought process, the way that we look at it.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
we try to pass that on.
And I think the thing with Zach and I too is our thought processes are completely different.
Yeah, that's true too.
Zach and I have gone back and forth and argued for 4 hours over a promo.
Yeah, we'll argue over like
so-
2 minutes of a match for a half hour. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like our match, you know?
Yeah, like when guys wrestle Exotic Youth, they just sit back and they're like, "These guys hate each other."
Yeah.
like,
And Bryce always like has to preface people before I get there. He's like, all right, now just know Zach's gonna come in. He's gonna start asking all these questions. Like he's gonna be like, okay, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? You know, because we're just trying to poke holes through everything like the other one comes up with until like we can't poke any more holes through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
Sure.
just don't want something to go unnoticed or
Yeah.
something that we feel like could go wrong. We don't want that going wrong. So then we overthink, okay, how could this go wrong? And then we're off to a completely different subject than we started talking about. We're like,
Yeah.
wait, how did we get here?
I
But
think get stuck in a rabbit hole, but I think that it's good because I think a lot of times like there's not enough thought put into this stuff, you know. I think
Yeah.
things that we've done, and it's awesome to see when that comes across too. Like when we put these shows together and the stuff that we sit there and argue about for 30, 45 minutes to go read a review or to hear fans say something about like a specific spot or a specific part of the story that we had like really spent a lot of time arguing about, it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
yeah, like Zach's talking about, like reading things in reviews. There was one of our talents was kind of talked negatively about and how the writer just never really saw anything in this particular person and whatnot. And then I told Zach, I was like, give me a couple shows and let's change his mind. Like let's completely.
Yeah, and you were able to do that.
And we did it. And I reached out to that person and was like, look, dude, like I'm not saying this was me, but you put in the work. Like you made this possible. Like this person thought this of you, and you were able to take direction and execute it to where it's believable, and this person now has a completely different mindset of you.
Yeah, that ain't an easy mind to change either.
Yeah, and
It took us like 3 years.
Like it's satisfying and it's gratifying to see things like that, but I never want to like take credit for that. And that is one thing, because it's not me doing it right now. I'm not wrestling. If I were in the match, absolutely I would take credit for it, but like I'm not right now. And so it's cool to see other guys actually working hard and changing reporters' minds and making this crowd believe and making this little girl cry in the audience. Like it's things like that like, okay, wrestling's still cool, and it can
And it's
be
cool as hell for us too, because when we see it play out, we're like, damn, we're good, man.
right, exactly. We do that on the back end though. Like
Yeah.
I told you, bro. Like,
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Love
You
it.
guys
Love
watched
it.
the show. What do you think? What stood out to you the last show?
So for me, my match of the night was Flying Fro and Killjoy. That Coastal Chaos Championship, especially now that we're seeing this renaissance with the IC title in WWE, like it had that exact same energy of like these guys tore the fucking house down, and that was by far the match of the night. And then we get the swerve with Hakeem that we'll see if he wants to talk about his actions or whatever.
Cheap plug.
Excuse me that I'm doing a cheap plug on our show when we got another episode that, like we get to bask in 200 tonight, but guess what? 201's tomorrow. We still have to be ready for that. Are you?
It is. I'm always ready.
How's this one?
But that was my match of the night for sure, by far. And seeing kind of that Chaos Championship be that workhorse title where you're going to get great work, because I mean we've seen Walker in person. I mean you put him in a ring with anybody, and it's a match of the night. contender. You know, there are not a whole lot of promotions that can say that they have a talent like that on their roster at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those talents because he has a natural ability to connect with an audience. He's just so different, too. You know, he's got an inspiring story. If you know his history with his back surgery and everything else, I mean, it's remarkable what that kid can do.
Yeah, and just like watching his confidence grow during this process has been really cool. But the Chaos title, it actually had like a different meaning than really what it did now when they first introduced it to Coastal. They wanted it to kind of be like a hardcore title, like every match that was done under that title was going to be like some form of
a different
match or death match, stipulation. But it's cool now that it has that representation of IC title or something like that, because it's hard to find guys who are willing to, you know, be blood and guts without it being like a deathmatch show. And so like,
I mean, I don't want to deal with that kind of cleanup. You know, that's
right. But just being able to kind of know that I mean, you guys are a little more than fans at this point, but like knowing that from the outside looking in, it looks more of an intercontinental title. That kind of means a lot. Like we've been able to kind of transform it into that.
And that's Fro too. That's a testament to how hard he's worked over the past year. You know, we gave him an opportunity, and he exceeded the expectations. I mean, he's been killing it, man. And like you said, that match with Killjoy, man, that was an absolute classic. The fans
And Fro is one of those guys that he doesn't want to take the credit. He doesn't want to, because he was saying how that match, Rob Killjoy. And we were like, no, dude, like it takes two to dance, you know. Like you were able to hold that level, if not exceed that level with him. Because Killjoy, he's one of those. He's gonna tear you apart if you mess the match up type deal. Like he's a great guy. But he's one of those who's going to tell you how it is.
He's not going to sugarcoat nothing.
Right. Sure. And just to see like Rob talk to Fro after that match and not really like he just put him over pretty much in the back, like and told him like how good he was and everything. And sure, there were probably little things that he critiqued, but I think they almost went 30 minutes. There's not much you can't say good, you know. So.
Yeah, and it's really cool too to see like some of the guys who've helped and mentored us over the years, like Rob Killjoy, like Simon Sermon, and well, that's soured for sure. But you know, in the past, he definitely did look out for us early on, and just to see all these guys who like, you know, are from a different part of our career, like it's all down the timeline and how it's all come together. Like almost everybody that we bring in, we've worked with personally. Now that might start to change here in the future because we've been getting a lot of inquiries from people who are from a lot of different areas and stuff because people are catching what we're doing here that's different. But I mean, that's part of the advantage is like when we bring people in, we already know what they can do. We already have trust with them. We already kind of like they know what to expect with us. They know that I'm OCD as hell about stuff. I'm going to be anal about it, and they know that, you know, Bryce is going to tell them like it is, and it's not going. You know, we're not worried about hurting your feelings. We're worried about trying to help people improve.
Yeah.
And they're not getting a lot of places. I hear so many talents say, like, man, I'm so glad to get feedback after my match. Like, usually all I hear is, oh, how great that was. And, you know, I experienced that same talent. And I'm not even bragging about that, but, like, you go a lot of places and you don't really get any good feedback. And, you know, partly not all promoters were wrestlers, so they're not going to be able to decipher good from great when it comes to, you know, the basics, the footwork, the kind of things that they're really wanting to see that you mastered before they bring you into, you know, the major companies.
Another thing is in the South, like most promoters are older, so they've got a different style of wrestling than what guys are doing now. So it's like, so having like younger guys like Zach and I kind of be those leading points, we kind of know both sides. Like we're able to call it like it is in the ring, or we're able to do a spot if we need to.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Like they've got that. Like, and like Zach said, we don't know everything. And we're not here to preach that we know everything. but we are going to help where we see that we can help.
Yeah, we think we have a lot of value to add, and that's what we do. But I mean, like Bryce was saying, and that's the biggest, most important thing about this is like we are constantly still learning. We will always hear out other perspectives and things like that. We always accept an argument, to see is this the better way to do things? I'm never been somebody who thinks it's a good reason to keep doing something because it's already been done, or it's always been done or anything like that. I mean, people who ask questions, people who show that they're thinking about it, like that shows growth. So even if it's not necessarily something we agree with or whatever else, what noise the fans make, that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yep. It is 100%. And give us at least one, but I can hear it from both of you, a long-term goal for this and kind of what you guys want this to turn into.
After you, Bryce.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Val.
I love
a long-term goal would definitely be getting into a bigger venue that maybe would hold 1,000. I say that's a long-term goal, but I mean I definitely see us getting there in 5 years if we keep at the rate that we're going. Just being able to swap a venue this early on with this to fit a crowd better and accommodate a crowd is super cool. Switching from the brewery to the VFW. Mine would just be to get into a venue regularly that's going to consistently draw a crowd.
Okay.
Zach?
Yeah, and I think for me, it's an extension of that, but like I just want Coastal to really be a staple in Savannah. I want it to be something that like is associated with Savannah. We have a lot of quirky things down here that are really popular, like the Savannah Bananas baseball, where it's kind of like the Globetrotters version for that. And we're just known for our rich culture here, and it's crazy we never had wrestling. So I want it to be a promotion that's ran by the boys for the boys who are trying to get to the next level. So that way, when hopefully me and Bryce move on to the next stage of our career, what did I do? What's he laughing about?
I said, what is this busting open? Where he's like, this is this is ran for the fans by the fans. This is for the boys by the boys.
I don't know.
What a tagline though.
But,
I mean it makes sense. It is though.
But yeah, like that's what I want it to be, so that when Bryce and I move on to the next chapter in our careers, that the next person steps up, and it's kind of like the community supports it, the guys support it, and the people who've been a part of it like always stay a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a very tangible legacy that can be passed from generation to generation, class to class, as people, using it as kind of that finishing school of sorts to, take the next step.
Yeah, in 2094, we need chips purged like 74, like that's what we want.
Oh, yeah, we need to be feuding. Simon Cern's going to be 165 years old. Coming out there, Bryce is going to be in a little walker. I'm going to be on crutches.
I'll tell you guys right now.
I'll have a fake leg by then, probably.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. I will say one thing Coastal needs. Give us a women's division.
Yeah, the fans have been asking for that. That's something that we've really started looking into more recently. I have talked to a few potential people to build that division around. So we'll see how that goes. It'll probably be definitely later in the year, early next year before you see that in full swing, because we don't want to do anything half-assed. We want to make sure that we can, first of all, consistently get women who are great quality and get them on a regular basis, so we can do the same kind of storytelling with them that we're doing with the guys.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do, especially here in the South, because once your name gets out there, you start getting flown around and you get signed up pretty quick, or it's very complicated sometimes.
Makes sense. Real quick, Pluggo from the Between Two Beards podcast says, congratulations on 200. Thank you for letting me be a small part of your success. Always great to hear from
thank
Pluggo
you,
and
Pluggo.
JP.
Thank you.
And then, old Hugo Ramsey says, happy 200. Common parlance, Chris, you know, this gentleman, MJB, saying congrats on 200. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But, gentlemen, I got to say one more time, we would not be here without you guys. There's absolutely no that we...
Two totally different reactions.
Yeah, Bryce is like, tell us more.
Man.
Keep it coming, brother.
We switch back and forth. Sometimes, Bryce will be the humble one.
Love it.
I mean, I was gonna say this is probably the cockiest that I think he's ever been on this show, and I mean that's.
It's Zach Mosley. He does something to me.
Well,
So basically, the rule is not to put you guys in a room, at least like not in this setting together, and
In
then
the chat room. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I was, one of these days I'm just gonna kick you square in the. All right. Oh.
That's fine.
We're back. Yeah.
That's fine. Everybody in this house has already done
it
that.
could happen in a Coastal Empire ring if you'd like for it to do so. A live Wrestling Junkies pod.
Look at that.
That's something I'd like to see. That's a goal right there. Have Wrestling Junkies live in the house doing a live broadcast from the VFW.
I think we can do that. I like the sound of that. Hey, our production setup is travel ready. That's say the word.
The word.
Like you just need to hop in and head to Savannah.
Yeah, you guys better get in the car now. We plan on being there.
It's travel ready.
We are travel ready, but to be fair, I've gone through.
Yeah, never mind. You don't get on the road.
I know.
Nah, he can drive.
I may not come back if that happens. My wife may lock me out of the house.
As soon as you're here for the first 100-degree day in Savannah, you'll definitely do.
We were here for the 100 degree day today. We're fine.
This is the dry heat down here, brother.
It hit 100 degrees today. I've been inside in the AC all day.
Yes, we know. You don't do anything.
I have a job, damn. You know what? You go to law school. How about that?
I didn't. That's why I'm where I'm at now. That's the problem. Anything else, Mr. Cincinnati?
I don't think you're doing too bad for yourself.
I'm trying.
I'm
doing okay.
You have a great family. You got a mortgage. You're more adult than I am.
He's got a world title back there.
Yeah, you are the world heavyweight champion.
Of this show,
Don't encourage him. Please don't encourage him because I
got a paddle up there too.
Yeah, mine's back in the.
You can't see Bryce's paddle on Mr. Cincinnati screen.
Well, it's hanging up there. You know what?
Guys.
Yeah, what kind of disrespect?
It is disrespect. Mine's prominent every show. I'm just throwing it out there.
Can you believe this?
His is hanging up though.
Yeah, you can't see it. You wouldn't even known.
Well, you have to hang out here at the apartment to see it, and it's a conversation starter. Believe me.
That's fine. Mine's been on every episode of the show since I've had it. So just saying.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I don't want to know where your paddle's been.
Why?
What you do with your paddle after you purchase it from Bryce Cannon is up to you. No judgment.
See, you heard it here.
You need to take it home.
Yeah, I wonder what all they've been used for, Bryce. I really never wondered.
Zach Mosley's taken a few paddles.
Well, I cracked a few over my head, yeah. I think that's what's wrong with me.
Yeah, over your head. Got it. Yeah.
Me too.
The brain fog, man.
Yeah, it is probably about time for us to take this episode home. But before we do that, gentlemen, please tell everybody where they can find tickets for this weekend Fire Hazard. If they can't be there in person, sorry to them, but where can they catch the replay?
Yeah, you can find tickets in any local candy bar. There should be golden tickets. And
okay.
Cash App, hashtag Coastal EMP Wrestling. You just send your payment and then your name and the type of ticket that you want and number of tickets, obviously. or tickets will be available at the door, but I can't guarantee that front row are going to be available because front row's flying. You can find Coastal Empire Wrestling at Coastal EMP Wrestling and CEW Savannah on the various social media platforms because for some reason people keep messing with all these damn domains. But you can find me at Zach Mosley Official, Exotic Youth Official, and then
Real Bryce Cannon on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, then Bryce Cannon Facebook.
Just look for the hair.
Matt.
Don't touch the tip.
Well, gentlemen, I can't think of a better way to celebrate 200 episodes. Thank you for everything that you have done to help us to get to this point. We cannot wait to see what happens next between the Wrestling Junkies, Coastal Empire Wrestling podcast. Dad, I'm going to get serious here for a second. This show doesn't exist without you. It genuinely doesn't. There is nobody else that I would want to do this with. You are a pain in my ass, but I do kind of like you. You're cool.
Oh, you too.
Wow.
That's about as emotional as it's gonna get. Like it's
Pretty much,
you know.
yeah.
All right, I'll join us Saturday night to watch me and Peppers beat the hell out of some cops. We're gonna fry them up. It's gonna be the world's largest pig roast. I'm telling you right now.
Show.
Lieutenant Lampy and damn Sergeant Scratch, they're gonna leave with a few scratches at the very least. If y'all don't know the history with that, they arrested my girl. They tried to tase me. I had to scratch, dumbass. They've beat me with nightsticks. They've allowed felonious assault on me, Bryce Cannon, Pepper Bottom, countless times. I think it's about damn time we turn it on them.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Strong words.
If history, if my history is correct, there's a certain lawyer on screen that has helped Exotic Youth win tag team titles before. So, if you need some help, you know a guy.
Yeah, we may need that. We may need that.
Mysteries has a hell of a lawyer, so we're gonna need some good.
I'm a lawyer, sure. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everybody that's watching tonight. Remember, Coastal Empire Wrestling tickets can be found. Hashtag Coastal EMP Wrestling, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And catch that replay. It'll be on YouTube if you're not able to be there in person, August 15th, 7 p.m. Look out for the premiere edition of Coastal Countdown, as well as the official post-show after the Empire. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. We cannot wait to see what happens next when the world of Coastal Empire Wrestling and in your respective careers. Stick around for a second as we wrap up here. But thank you to everybody that took time out to enjoy episode 200 of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. It means the absolute world to us. Hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe, podcast dad. Hit them with that magic number.
1.
If you know one person that would enjoy our show, please share it with them. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we need your help to do it. I think we're at 308 right now, so we got some work ahead of us, but we like a challenge.
I do like a challenge.
Our goal is 1,000 people in that 200 people seat room at the VFW. So bring your asses down to Ogeechee Road this Saturday night.
You heard him.
Baby.
You heard him. Gentlemen, thank you very much. As always, here's to 200 episodes and 200 more. For Bryce Cannon, for Zach Mosley, for the podcast dad of Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies Podcast, episode 200. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll see y'all then.